Hi, thanks for joining me for Art Attack today. Today we are going to be making these lovely heart rainbows in the spirit of spring. And it also will have a little piece of ribbon on the top so that you can hang it in your window or wherever you would like. And these are very fun to make. And we'll go ahead and get started. So in order to make these, you will need to have picked up your kit at the library. So in your kit, you will receive this heart and this little packet. And that has the tissue, all the tissue paper that you will need. And just go ahead and open that up. Okay, so you have your ribbon, lots of tissue paper, and then your little instructions here as well. So you can always just follow the instructions if you like, but I will also give you some tips because I did complete this one, and there's probably a few little tips and tricks that you might like to know before doing yours. So what you're also going to need is a pencil with a good eraser, because this eraser is what you're going to use to kind of help you stick those little pieces of tissue paper onto your heart. So as you see, you have a bunch of different colors. So I'll show you what mine looks like. So you're going to separate these colors. I think that helps to know how much of each color you have and the order that they go in. So as you see, there's two different, they're really stuck together. Okay, I'm gonna go for my orange here. It's stuck to my purple. There's two different colors of blue. So you wanna make sure that you're using the right color of blue in the right spot. So you're gonna use the lighter blue on the edges and the darker blue in the middle. And the tissue paper is kind of stuck together, so just be really careful that you're not ripping your tissue paper. When I did this one, I ended up using every little bit of tissue paper, so you don't want to ruin any of the tissue paper. So I'm just separating out the colors to make my job a little bit easier. All right, and you got that big chunk of blue right there. Okay, and then we just have red and yellow. Okay, so I got all my colors separated out. So the first step, I like to work from what I consider the top to the bottom. So however you want to do this, but I would just do one section at a time. As you can see, there's little lines on here. So those are the different sections that you're working on. So let's go ahead and start with this top section right here. And as you can see, that's going to be the light blue. So you're just going to peel that off and it's going to be sticky. And that's how your tissue paper is going to stick to the heart. Excuse me. So what you want to do is take a piece of tissue paper and you're taking your eraser of your pencil and you're just wrapping that tissue paper around. And then I'm going to start at the very top. And there you go. That's the first piece. And again, you're just putting that eraser about in the middle of the tissue paper and then wrapping the tissue paper around. Now, when you do this, as a tip, you don't want to put them too close together because you don't have as much tissue paper as you think you do. So what I did is I kind of just went through and did what I would do for every other spot. So what I mean by that is I put my first piece of tissue paper down, and then ideally if I had a ton of tissue paper, I would put one right there next to it, but I'm just going to go over a space So basically every other space that I would normally do it is where I'm going to put the tissue paper. And at the end, I would just go back and fill in those spots with any other extra tissue paper I had, or if I needed to kind of stick the tissue paper that's already on there down in such a way to kind of cover the white part of the heart, then I would do that as well. So for the light blue, you're going to want to keep in mind that this top part here isn't going to be completely perfect, or I wouldn't do it completely perfectly how you want it until you're completely done with the heart, because you're going to use that light blue tissue paper at the bottom as well. So you want to make sure that you don't run out before you get to the bottom. So I would just do like I'm doing right now, just do it a little bit more sparse. And then you can go back at the very end and fill in any spots you want to fill in. So this project is very time consuming, but I love the finished project. And you kind of just get into a rhythm. So it's really nice to work on this project. And you can be you can listen to music or listen to an audiobook, or you can just quietly do this project. Whatever you'd like to do. Okay, I'm going to do one more before I move on to the next section. And I know that that looks sparse, but as I said, you can go back and fill it in at the end. So when I get to the end of a section, I like to kind of push the previous section up a little bit so it doesn't get in the way of doing the next section. So the next section, we're going to peel it off. And this one's kind of different in that it's the only section that's two pieces. So the red is going to go, this part is stuck. There we go. Okay, so the red's going to go all the way across the top. So now I have my red pieces. And I'm just going to go ahead and put my red pieces on. And if you've gotten the hang of it, or you think you know how to do the project at this point, you don't have to watch the whole video, but if you'd like to, you can continue to watch. I'm just going to give you tips along the way. But you basically just do the same motion over and over again. Put the eraser in the center and wrap it around. I'm going to do a second layer. Oops. Okay. layer. As you can see, this is a little bit more full already than the light blue. And that's because I'm not as worried about having enough for another section, because this is the only section of red. I'm going to go up here with this. I'll show you what I mean about kind of filling it in. So I just like to make sure that the entire section is at least has some, so that if I need to be creative with how the tissue paper is stuck down, I can do that. I think that's pretty good for this. Okay, so as you can see, now it's just basically a general covering. So I'm just going to go back and fill in even more with what I have left here. So any little spots I see that there's white, I need to push them around a little bit. Let's see here. But I do recommend going through and using all of the tissue paper, because otherwise I feel like it just looks a little bit too sparse. So I know you might be tempted to move on to the next section rather than filling it in, but it does really make it look nice and full, like this one. This one I used every piece of tissue paper that they provided. And you want to make sure that you're not getting pieces stuck together, because then you're missing out. Okay. This is just have a few more pieces here. Let's see. Here we go. There we go. Okay, and just one more. And look how nice and full that looks now. Let's see, I feel like I could do another. This area, maybe not. Yep, right there. Okay. All right, so look how nice and full that one looks, because I used every single piece of the tissue paper that was provided. I know this one still looks a little sparse, but remember we need to do the bottom section as well. So we're going to leave that a little sparse until we're done with the bottom section too. And then we can go back and fill it in. At this point, or before you do the next color, which is orange, you're going to want to tie your ribbon in, because otherwise it might be a little tricky once that part's done. Because as you can see, the tissue paper gets really squished together. So you're just going to put your ribbon through the hole and just go ahead and tie a knot, and that's all there is to that. And then you'll be able to hang it up wherever you like. So you're just going to keep continuing on until you're all done. I would love to see what you create, so please take a picture and you can post it on our Facebook page, or you can tag us on Instagram if you use Instagram. I really hope that you have fun with this project. I think it's really fun and it's kind of soothing because you get into a rhythm. So it's a nice project to work on. Also, I just want to remind you, before you go on to the next line of tissue paper, you're just going to be pushing this up here to make sure that you have lots of room to then go ahead and put your orange tissue paper. So we're just doing a rainbow, and then the light blue is kind of the sky that the rainbow's in. So you're doing red, then orange, then yellow, then green, then blue, which is a darker blue, and then purple, and then that light blue again for the sky. So I really hope that you have fun with this. If I did the whole project, this would be an hour-long video, but I think you get the gist of it by now. So we look forward to seeing what you create, and I will see you in the next Art Attack video. Goodbye.